everybody, and no, that's not right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fantasy Football. Very, very interesting week. Lots and lots to talk about. Let's have a look at how we did for the week. I ended up on 59 points. The average was 60, so missed that unfortunately. The big kind of, I guess, thing that went wrong for me was Sanchez not playing at all. Like, picked up an injury right before the game. I don't know how much he would have done anyway, but that wasn't very good, obviously. And Trippier on my bench, who I thought wasn't going to play, came on. I think he came on quite late. No, he played the whole game. Sorry. Yep. I was reading all the papers before, and they're like, yes, Serge Aurier is going to play it right back. And I was like, okay, no problem. Trippier plays, scores. Did he get an assist as well? No, but he got a goal. Really, really good goal as well. We'll talk about that in a bit. So, and obviously Sergio Aguero did brilliantly. Got a hat-trick and an assist, I want to say, for the penalty. He got a penalty. We'll talk about Man City and how dominant they were as well. Obviously if I'd have put Aguero as my captain, that would have been different for whatever reason. Actually, I know why. It was because I was unsure whether he was going to play Aguero or not. I didn't know if he was going to bring Jesus in. Now, he did bring Jesus in, but he played them together, which is something he doesn't usually do. So I was unsure, so I didn't want to put Aguero as captain, even though I thought he could get a goal or two if he played, because I didn't know if he was going to play. Looking back, I probably should have put him as captain and then someone else as vice, but it's the way it goes, isn't it? De Gea in goal, just the 1 point. Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk with the clean sheets. Van Arnold, no points. Goals conceded and a yellow card, I believe, as well, which means he gets no points. Pogba with the goal, Mane with a goal and a clean sheet. Apologies, there appears to be a helicopter just going over now, which is good. It's a really hot day here in London today. Really, really nice day actually. Jorginho, good Chelsea win, but obviously not much going for him. Or Noble, very disappointed. Noble didn't take the penalties as he usually always does. But there you go. Benteke, I don't want to talk about him. And Zaha, who was my vice captain, so made captain when Sanchez didn't play, but obviously unable to get any extra points on there. So yeah, not the greatest of weeks, but certainly not a write-off. 59 points is good. Leaves me on 110, which I checked last year at this point. I think at 115, so less. But I was like 3.6 million last year, whereas I'm 2.3. So I'm doing better in relation to that. I'm under halfway, so I'm actually pretty pleased with how things are going. So I guess let's have a look at the results and we'll go through all the games. I'll leave the Palace one to the end because I've got a lot to say about that. I've got a lot to say about Man United, I've got a lot to say about Man City, so we'll get through these ones first. Cardiff, Newcastle. Both these sides, I mean, in a way it's a good point for both of them. Both are struggling in their own ways. Newcastle, are struggling with their owner, not backing them and their expectation levels after last season. And they've got a very good manager. How long he's going to be around, not because he's going to get fired, but because he's just had enough. We don't know yet. Cardiff, on the other kind of end of the spectrum, certainly not spent nearly as much as Fulham or Wolves, the other two promoted teams, but in a way I kind of said I thought that worked well for him in a way, because there's one thing that Neil Warnock does is he galvanises a team. That teams always have great spirit under Warnock. He knows what he's doing in that respect. Maybe not going to be tactically the best, certainly not going to play the most attractive football, but they will dig in and fight. And it was a second penalty save for Etheridge in 2 games, and Kennedy was woeful. By the way, I was listening to this on the radio and they were just slating him, and why on earth he picked up that picked up that penalty and took it when he had such a terrible game. I mean, I guess he's just the nominated penalty taker, but I guess no professional footballer is going to turn around and go, "Hey, you take the ball. I've not had a good game." It's kind of career suicide, but yeah, bad penalty, great save. Ed Hayden sent off as well. I'll be honest, I don't think Cardiff really looked like they were going to win that game, and that could be a problem for them. Like, they're going to have to rely on home form big time if they're going to survive in the Premier League, and I think that it will be a I don't want to say miracle because it's not a miracle, but it would be an upset if they did stay in the Premier League this season. But again, as I said, as somebody who, I've said this before about Allardyce, and Allardyce as well, but with Warnock, don't bet against this guy. He knows what he's doing. I've seen him. People talk about the job that Hodgson did with Palace, or perhaps the job that Allardyce or Pulis did with Palace, saving them coming in. Trust me when I say, when Warnock came in, he saved Palace from relegation from the Championship, and then he took them up, and he is just incredible. Trust me. In the Championship, there is no one better. Whether or not he's going to do that in the Premier League, we'll see, won't we? But yeah, not much going on there. Everton, Southampton. I said in my Premier League preview I thought Southampton would get relegated. However, they signed Danny Ings late on, and I think someone put in a comment that they were a Southampton support and there's no way Southampton are going to go down. And I did say it. I think Ings could be a really good signing for them. He's clearly a player with a lot to prove. He's had years in the wilderness at Liverpool, and I felt like he could have that added firepower for Southampton, who I feel are a little bit light on creativity. And I like Charlie Austin too. I don't know if him and Ings can play together, but I feel like they seem too similar to play together, but they did play together, which was weird. But then he brought on Long later on for Austin. It's a strange one. Anyway, yeah, Southampton. I mean, one thing I will say was it was a really good goal from Walcott, really good goal from Richarlison. Everton could have had more. I don't know how many more Southampton could have had. There were some good saves from Pickford as well. But I feel like Everton deserved that. It's going to be a tough game going to Goodison Park and getting a result. So, Southampton with 1 point. They're 13th, but you can't look at a table at this point. But maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't think that's a great start for them, but yeah, we'll see. Next up, Leicester v Wolves. Now this was another interesting game. Wolves much fancied, much fancied, but again they're on 1 point now after 2 games. I just thought Leicester looked better than them, to be honest with you. Wolves were very unlucky, to be fair. Maybe Leicester weren't that much better. It was absolutely cracking. Goal. They've got it as Maddison. They've got their own goal there. Sorry, Maddison's goal. Good deflection, but it wasn't a goal. This Doherty, what a finish from him. Unfortunately, it was at the wrong end of the pitch. It was actually quite a comical goal in a way, because his header just slammed straight in the top right corner. It was bizarre, but yeah, it was. Leicester, they maybe got a little bit lucky on their goals, and I think Wolves were a little bit unlucky sometimes. Some good saves from Schmeichel. A red card for Vardy. Now this is a weird one. It's a weird thing. It used to be many years ago, not that many years ago really, but it used to kind of be like if you play the ball, like that was all that mattered. If you got the ball first, that's all that mattered. But nowadays, it's kind of about, well, how much force are you going in on the tackle? How much is the follow through on the tackle and all this malarkey? And obviously Vardy did a tackle, he got the ball, but it was deemed to be, I don't know what the exact term is, but it's deemed to be that he went in with too much force. It was almost like a violent tackle, even though he did get the ball. And I guess to protect players, their livelihoods, those type of tackles can break people's legs. We've seen it before many times. A nice green van going around as well. That's cool. So I kind of understand, but also a red card feels harsh for a tackle when you get the ball. I don't know how other people feel about that, but I kind of feel like sometimes a yellow might do there. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit old school like that. Didn't really change the game too much. Wolves were unable to get back in the game. They look lively. Neves looks really good in midfield, but I don't know. I feel like them and Fulham are going to struggle this season. I think they've had it a lot of their own way in the Championship. Well, Fulham for the second half of the season, not really for the first. And they've spent big both sides, and it's going to take time for them to gel. And when we've seen teams survive in the Premier League, coming up from the Championship, it's because they have got off to a really good flying start. And Wolves are on 1 point after 2 games. Fulham don't have a single point after 2 games. Yeah, it's welcome to the Premier League for Fulham, isn't it? Spurs. I guess the biggest news is Harry Kane scoring in August. It was a ridiculous kind of run that was always going to end, and unfortunately for Fulham, it ended against them. Lucas Moura as well. I think that was his first goal for Spurs. Trippier with just a brilliant free kick as well. Mitrovic with a good finish. I'm going to be honest. I don't rate Fabri as a keeper at Fulham. I have a friend who's Turkish, and he was like, "This guy's awful." He used to play for Beşiktaş, I think, in Turkey, and he was like, "He's awful." I was like, "Why on earth would Fulham buy him?" I don't know how true that is. He's a Man United supporter, so he obviously knows nothing about football, but that's a joke there, Man United fans. But yeah, so it is welcome to the Premier League. Spurs, I said last week how it was laughable that there was this Spurs fan on the radio saying that this totally justified the fact that they didn't buy anyone and blah blah blah. It doesn't, because no one's talking about the Spurs team now. We're talking about a Spurs team in November, December, January, February, when there's been a tough kind of Christmas fixtures and there's some injuries set in and it's cold and wet and rainy. Or players are called up on international duty, or maybe even a player goes to the Asian Cup, those sorts of things. We're not talking about Spurs now, because Spurs now have all their players fit and they look really good, as they always have done. They have a very good sort of like squad of 15 or so, 15, 16. Very, very good, and certainly more than capable of finishing in the top 4. I just wonder what happens if Kane gets injured. If Kane get injured right now, they're really screwed, because they don't have Son either, who kind of slotted into that last season. We also have this whole kind of shambles around their ground. Of course, they were supposed to move into their new stadium. I think for their next game, is it against Liverpool? Is that their next game? No. So it would have been... Oh, well, maybe it's been... No, that one, sorry, that one. On the 15th, they were supposed to move in. I think that was supposed to be their first home game. Not going to happen now. It's been pushed back, potentially even to next year. Shocking, really. I know, building a brand new stadium is always going to take a while, and especially if you're building it where your old stadium was, or you get rid of your old stadium for whatever reason. And a lot of times we've seen Premier League clubs move recently, it's not been like that at all. You've had... I'm trying to think of who's had new stadiums built. State Man City, they obviously moved into a pre-built stadium. West Ham, obviously, as well. Arsenal at the Emirates, they moved where their stadium was, so they could build that and still play at Highbury. Trying to think who else has had new stadiums built, but most of the time it's built separately from your stadium, so you carry on playing there, then you move into a new stadium and sell the land or do whatever with the land when you do it. Obviously in London it's difficult because land is like the most expensive part of it. a bit of a shambles that they waited till after the transfer window to do this because etc etc. I don't know. I don't know what or how this is going to affect them. It could do nothing. Okay, it could be that Spurs are kind of used to moving around a little bit and they'll slot into a new stadium fine. It could also be that they're playing at these different stadiums and put it this way, I think this has written off Spurs' hopes of a title bid. My personal opinion. I still think they'll get top 4 probably, but I think that this could have curtailed any hope for a title bid from them, because I think just the disruption and the fans feeling and everything like that has, and I'm talking regardless of the transfers or whatever, has. It would be surprising to me if they won the league this season, put it that way. It'd be surprising to a lot. But yeah, so good goals from them. They obviously are a very good side, and they have what, 2 wins. Yeah, 2 wins out of 2. I had to think about that for a second. They have 2 wins out of 2. Can't ask more than that, can you really? Wasn't that convincing against Newcastle? More convincing against Fulham, absolutely. So yeah, we'll kind of see what comes from that. Fulham have to start gelling and start doing well, and they have to start doing that quickly. Because what you don't want to have in the Premier League is a bad start. Palace last season were the exception to the rule, but the rule generally is, especially with promoted clubs, like if you don't start kicking on quickly, it can be a very hard season, But we'll see. West Ham, Bournemouth. West Ham's display at Liverpool was one of the worst defensive displays I've seen in my life, and then they went and outdid that in this game. Their defence is shocking. The Callum Wilson goal was just unbelievable. He's not Lionel Messi. There was 5 defenders and Callum Wilson managed to dribble it around 2 of them and score. What were the other 3 doing? And he's not Lionel Messi. No offence to Callum Wilson. I think he's actually a decent striker. I think he is a Premier League striker as well. But my God, what is wrong with you, West Ham? They're not gelling. Obviously, they've brought a lot of players in. Some of their players are taking their time to settle in. Wilshere, Yarmolenko, Anderson. I kind of said my worry at the beginning of the season for them was that they had too many players who, on their day, if they turned up, are brilliant, but they have too many days where they don't. Felipe Anderson, Chicharito, Arnautovic, Yarmolenko, they're not consistent players in my opinion, and we'll see. Again, very disappointed Noble didn't take the penalty. He usually does and usually scores. One of the reasons why I had him in my side was because of that, so that's quite annoying. Definite penalty on Chicharito. Just had his legs taken out. I think it was Ogbonna who did it. He's not looking very good, to be honest with you. He's looking way too slow. And yeah, they scored first, but Bournemouth came right back in. And I've got to say, the young guy at Bournemouth, what's his name now? This is where I'm gonna show my ignorance a little bit. I get his name wrong. He is David Brooks, that's it. Firstly, he looks about 12. Like, he genuinely looks 12 years old. Look at that. It's like his son or something. He looked really good. Really good. I was very impressed with him. 21 years old. Looks 12, but yeah, he looked really good. So they might have a little bit of a gem there. And yeah, great set piece as well. Just so poor from West Ham. So poor. They need to get better real quick. Like, Pellegrini took a bit of a pop at the fans afterwards, saying that he needs them to stay. There was 10 minutes left and they were already leaving. They do take his point, but also I feel like, firstly, fans can do what they want because they're paying money. If they want to leave before the end, they can. Secondly, there could be multiple reasons why they're leaving. One could be that traffic is bloody awful around there. Trust me, I was actually there today. Driving past it, I was at the Stratford Westfield Shopping Centre in London, which is right next to the stadium. The traffic was not good, and that was a Tuesday afternoon, so I can't imagine what it's like on like a Saturday match day when you've got all the shoppers there and you've got all the West Ham fans coming. You know, it can't be great. So I kind of understand that, but also like there is this disconnect between the fans there, the stadium, the owners. Like there's a lot of things not right there. They need to start winning some games, and that will help. But you know, tough times for West Ham if they don't start gelling soon. We'll see. Chelsea v Arsenal. What a cracking game of football that was. Watch this one Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it was really good. First half was just, you know, bonkers. Really is the word I'd use. Chelsea go 2 goals up, and Arsenal look absolutely shambolic in the back as usual. How the hell Morata outsprints a centre back? I have no idea. Mustafi, I've stuck up for him before, but I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough for a side who want to be top 4 in the Premier League. He got turned so easily. You know, Morata is a good striker. He's a very good striker. You know, I know a lot of Chelsea fans are quite pissed off with him, but he is good. But he's in, you know, his confidence is not high. So for him to be able to spin Mustafi like that and slot it in is pretty shocking. Czech made some good saves, but all the debate is about whether Czech can play, you know, this passing style of football. I cannot work out why Arsenal spent 20 odd million on Leno if they weren't going to play him. Like, let me just have a look. How much did they spend on him? Undisclosed. So I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Why would you buy this guy if you are not going to play him? I don't get it. Like, I just assumed that Petr Cech would either be on his way out or, you know, he'd be sub-keeper. I know Ospina's, I think, going to Turkey. But this whole argument of, oh, can Petr Cech play out from the back? He's 36 years old, you know, you can't teach him new things. Should the manager adapt? You know, I've seen a lot of professionals play, but the one thing I can't work out is why is no one turning around saying, why did they spend so much money on a goalkeeper in the summer if they're not going to play the bloody goalkeeper? Like, Pep Guardiola came in at Man City and he identified the goalkeeper as a problem straight away. He had no, like, sentimental moments with Joe Hart. He brought in Claudio Bravo, who played in the style he wanted, but as we know is a bit of a dodgeball. And then the next season he went out and broke the bank for Ederson, got him in. Actually wasn't that much, but he was like 30, 35 or something, I think. And Manchester City win the league because he identified that weak spot. I assumed Arsenal would have done that as well. Like, I assumed that. They went, okay, new manager Unai Emery wants to play it out from the back. This German goalkeeper, we know he's good, he can do that, let's get him in. So the question is, why aren't they playing him? I can't work it out. It's bizarre. Everyone's talking about whether Cech can do it. Why are you playing Cech? If you just want a goalkeeper who's really good at saving the ball and you know, can organise a defence or whatever, okay, fine, Petr Cech, great. But why are you doing? Yeah, Pedro's goal, really good. Iwobi Mkhitaryan hit back. Aubameyang was just, oh my god, that guy had missed some chances. He missed chances that Christian Benteke would have finished. Put it that way, that's how bad they were. I think Aubameyang is a fantastic striker. I had my doubts. Right, I did have my doubts about Aubameyang when he joined Arsenal last season. My point with him was that is this what they need when they already have Lacazette, who I think is a really good striker. And then they went and spent 50 million. They would have been better off spending that 50 million on a defender, and I still believe that. They obviously have Aubameyang, and he is a really good striker, and I believe that's a one-off that game. But they needed him to finish. They needed him to score when it's an open goal and not lean back and smash the ball over. That's what they needed. Guendouzi, is he French? I don't even know. I've got to look. He came from France. I assume he's either Swiss or French or Belgiumish or Flemish, sorry. Or, I don't know where. He's European, let's say, I believe. He looks really good. He does look very good. I've been very impressed by him. He does look like David Luiz, but he looks actually really good in midfield. I think Arsenal are going to be okay when and when I say okay, I mean top 6 okay, not top 4 okay. I think they're going to be okay when their players get up to speed, like Torreira, when they get rid of Granit Xhaka, because that guy is absolutely atrocious. He cannot pass a football properly, I'm sorry. Like, Arsenal, get rid of him. No. Yeah, you know, they've got enough going forward, but their defence is so bad. Hector Bellerin, he was so hyped up, and he's another one of those Arsenal players who gets really hyped up, and everyone's talking about him, about how good he's going to be. Like a Walcott, or an Oxlade-Chamberlain, or a Wilshere, or a Francis Jeffers. That's a bit of a joke there. But yeah, they kind of get hyped up. Callum Chambers, or you know, Rob Holding, you know, Vera's, this guy's going to be great. And he's not. Hector Bellerin right now, I would not want him in my football team like Palace. We have a 20-year-old right back who's played 2 games, and I swear to God he's better than Hector Bellerin. You know, their centre-back pairing of Mustafi and Papadopoulos, or I probably won't, but Socrates we'll call him. I can't pronounce his surname. It looks so slow and languid, and just it looks like a calamity right now. And yeah, you know, not good. Having said that, as I said, they have good attack, and they got back in this game, and they started to play some good football. They missed more chances. They could have had a draw as well, but it was a really good goal from Alonso in the end. And that's 2 wins for Chelsea in, you know, and that's a really good win for them in a game which, you know, could have been a potential banana skin. I didn't feel like Chelsea's keeper showered himself in glory in that game either. I'm not saying he's crap or anything. I just think it is going to take a little while to settle in as well. I think Chelsea fans will probably be pretty happy with the top 4 finish this season, and maybe a cheeky cup run, who knows, and then keep building from there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It kind of annoyed me that I was watching Monday Night Football, and Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher were just banging on about Arsenal for about 20 minutes, and they hadn't even spoken about the Palace Liverpool game, which was on, or going to be on, you know, in like half an hour, 40 minutes time. But I know Arsenal is just like one of these subjects which is so like interesting, you know, especially with there's no Wenger, especially with, you know, the way they kind of run their business in a way, and the way they are, and the fact that, you know, they're this big club, but they haven't really won anything or challenged for a league title in such a long time. You know, they've had a dotted around a few FA Cups and stuff, but it's weird, you know, it is weird. Good result for Chelsea though. A great result for Watford. Palace play Watford next week, and I'm actually quite scared of that game because Watford look really good. They're just playing to their strengths, and that's what you got to do. Burnley definitely getting that kind of hangover from the Europa League. Don't want to take too much away from Watford, but Burnley don't generally concede knows? But yeah, it could be a tough season for Burnley. Like they never had the squad to be able to cope with Europa League, you know, and the Premier League. They have a small squad, kind of on purpose. So yeah, they struggled with goals last season. They're struggling this season. They're on 1 point, but you know, they got Fulham next game, and that's going to be a big one. Both those teams are going to want a win there. Man City v Huddersfield. What can you say about Man City? They just destroyed Huddersfield, didn't they? Huddersfield obviously went really defensively, stuck behind the ball. It worked for them last season. They managed to get a 0-0. Frustrated Man City, but I feel like Man City are just a bit different this season. Like there's different plans here this season. They've got more options coming off the bench. You know, despite losing De Bruyne, you know, they bring in Silva, who's just running the show, just brilliantly running the show. Yeah, they've got Mendy back, who we didn't really see anything of Mendy last season. I know from watching the first episode of the Man City documentary on Amazon Prime, which was pretty good. I'll probably watch some more. But I know how much they were rating him, and then to lose him for the season was a big blow. And he has looked so good in their first few games, so good. You know, he's looked brilliant. Aguero firing away, you know, really good with the first goal. You know, you can't be offside on a goal kick. Not gonna lie, I didn't know that, so it's good to know. But yeah, managing to, you know, a little bit selfish from him, but you know, I felt the keeper was a little bit stranded in there, and I mean, I think City would be disappointed they let Huddersfield score, although it was a pretty decent goal. But yeah, they just look so dominant, don't they? You know, they can just bring on so many players off the bench, which is so good, you know, and it's scary. It really is. They will have tougher tests this season than Huddersfield. I rated Huddersfield to go down. I think. Did I? I'll have to have a look. Everybody seemed to be saying Huddersfield are going to go down. You know, it's looking tough. They had 2 terrible games to start with. Chelsea, Man City. Okay, so you could argue their season starts in the next game against Cardiff. You know, they get a win there, which they're capable of doing. Maybe they can kick the start and they can keep going. But it's yeah, it's going to be a long old season for them otherwise. You know, if they don't get a point there against Cardiff, at least this could be a bad season for them. Can Man City win the league? Absolutely, of course. They've got to be considered favourites. Liverpool look really good, but one thing you've got to say about Liverpool is that they're inexperienced in winning the title. You know, the Man City players did it last season. They've done it many times. Yeah, how many times has Aguero won the league now? 3 times, I think. You know, companies massively experienced with them. That they look like they're a more experienced side than Liverpool. Despite kind of Klopp being there longer, if that makes sense. But in terms of experience of winning things and stuff like that, they look like they can grind it out. Now, who knows what's going to happen? I think it's going to be a great like season with Liverpool, Man City just trading blows, and those one-on-one games could be important. We saw how Liverpool kind of blew Man City out of the water in the second half of the season, so they could be the real turning points. You know, Man City to me look like the type of team though who are a lot more focused on winning. You know, a lot more focused on driving and getting that next game and winning. And the criticism of Liverpool in the past has been that they've lacked that a little bit. Like they drew too many games at home without killing people off. You know, without that drive and that absolute determination to win every game. You know, maybe that's changed this season. We'll talk about the Palace match, and I saw signs of that. But I think Man City have got to be favourites right now, without a doubt. As for a team who definitely are not favourites to win the league, Man United, Oh boy, what is going on there? Let's not take anything away from Brighton. Firstly, they were really good. They really got about Man United. They really did not make it comfortable for them. Glenn Murray, I love the guy. I love him. I think he's such a good forward. As I said, like, I would maybe have even taken him to the World Cup. I love him that much. Like, I just think he had so much. He's such a poacher, you know. And yeah, just Brighton just blowing them out of the water. Absolutely blowing them out of the water. So much has been spoken about with Pogba. His agent spouting all this crap. His agent is clearly agitating for a move. He wants that big money move, doesn't he? To Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid or Barcelona or wherever. Man, what can you say about Pogba? I feel like Pogba played his best football when he was at Juventus, and when he's in that Juventus midfield, he had PLO and he had Marchisio. You know, he had these experienced players all around him, and I feel like they were the type of players who were not going to put up with any of his crap. You know, they would have just slapped him back down if he'd have got too big on his boots, or you know, started having hashtags named after him and emojis and all this crap and nonsense. And I feel like coming back to Man United, he's come back as the big man. He's the big player. He's now the captain, and you know, Paul Scholes talked about him not being a leader and the way he acts on the pitch. I'd probably agree that, you know, he's not doing enough to warrant that captaincy. And there's rumours that Jose didn't want him as captain, but he got pressured by the dressing room and by the board and all this. Who knows what the hell is true going on, man? I don't know what's true. No one does. Pogba could be perfectly happy and just looking for a new contract. It could be his agent just acting up. It could be, you know, personal problems. I don't know what's going on. Like, don't get me wrong, Pogba's not playing badly. Okay, he's not on the pitch doing nothing. He scored in 2 games. They're both decent penalties, but they were just penalties. And he's not really the driving force for Man United that they would have liked him to be. At what point do you turn around and go and cut your losses on him? Surely they haven't got a replacement. But at what point do you turn around and go, you know what, for the sake of the squad, maybe we should just let this guy go, and then this season maybe try and get a good cup run, maybe, you know, try and concentrate on finishing in the top 4th, and then rebuild next year. You know, at what point do you just turn around and go, this guy's not going to fit in with the way we want? Or more importantly, this guy's not going to fit in with Jose Mourinho, because is that the problem? Is the way he plays, is the way he uses his players, are they the problem? You know, he moans about not getting centre backs in. You know, he wants a centre back, didn't get it in. He was the one who brought in Barley and Lindelof, and they were a shambles. They were utter shambles. Like, the boards probably turn around and go, well, look, we paid top dollar for these centre backs, and they look awful. So why should we trust you on who we're bringing in? Why should we allow you to bring in these players when you've already brought in the players you want? You know, it's no good as a business model to bring in a player for 35 million and then turn around and go a season later or 2 seasons later and go, you know what, sorry, that guy's not worked out, give me another 35 million, I want to sign another player. Even for a rich club like Man United, that's no business model. And, you know, is it too much to ask that a manager coaches, that he tries to get the best out of his players? I know I bang on about Guardiola, but if you look at Pochettino, Klopp, Guardiola, hell, even Roy fucking Hodgson has taken players who people write off as being no good in the Premier League and turned them into players who people are raving about. You know, our defensive partnership with Crystal Palace, Sacco, Tompkins, is really good, and that's because Hodgson plays their strengths and he gets them well disciplined and drilled. There's no discipline at Man United, none, and I don't know what's going on there. Fans are like, oh, we need to sack Mourinho, bring in Zidane. Oh my god. Please, that's not the answer. Man United probably should have broken the bank for someone like Pochettino, because I'm telling you, they probably would have won the league by now if they'd have got him. A manager who can work with the players they've got. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see Conte go to Man United. That would be hilarious. Just following Mourinho again. No, but what are Man United going to do? Is this, ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, they've been an utter shambles. They've never had a good season. Yeah, they finished second last season, but that's not good enough for Man United. Got dumped out the cup by Seville or Sevilla. It's just not. They just don't look good. They have really good players. Like, I love Juan Mata as a player, but what the hell has he done at Man United? Like, I don't understand why he's still there. My mind boggles. Yeah, it's going to be a tough season for Man United. If there's nothing they can do. They can't buy a player in. How can they sack Mourinho 2 games into a season? They can't. I don't think they're going to sack him this season. I think Man United will be lucky to finish top 6 at the rate they're going. And Mourinho's Mourinho, though. He does know how to win. So maybe they'll climb up and scrape their way up. But they've got Spurs next. That's not a game they want to play, is it? That defence against Kane and Ali and Ericsson and Moira, and that's not a game they want. Now, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. What do I say about this game? Firstly, I've never been so happy with a 2-0 loss. I'm not saying I'm happy to lose 2-0 to Liverpool, but I was delighted with the way we played that game. 2-0 definitely flatters Liverpool. I'm not saying they didn't deserve to win. I think a draw probably would have been a bit of a fairer result. We had a couple of contentious issues in the game. The first one being the Salah penalty. So Salah was brought down in the box by Sacco. Personally, I feel it was a penalty, and I feel that Salah did dive. Now, I think it's important to kind of remember you can do both. Like, a player can, do simulation, if you like, and get fouled. They can kind of over-egg it. You can award a penalty and book a striker. Like, you can do that. I'm not advocating that's necessarily what would have happened. I'm just saying I think it was a penalty. Sacco was clumsy. He was just clumsy, and Salah played him. Milner scored the penalty. He's a good penalty taker. He scored it. Before that, we had some chances. Palace had some chances. Townsend hit the bar with an awesome shot. It was a brilliant shot. Liverpool had a lot of chances as well in this game. They had a lot more possession, but I really felt like we gave a really good account of ourselves in this match. We had a red card. I don't feel it was a red card again. I think looking at it, you could argue Salah was not in control of the ball because he'd kicked it away. When Bissaka took him down, it was outside the area. I think a yellow card would have done. I feel very bad for Wan-Bissaka because I think he looks brilliant. Like, he played brilliantly before he got sent off. He was really good. He was everything. And I feel like that was harsh, basically. That red card. Mane with the counter attack. In some ways, I was glad Mane scored because I'd already lost my clean sheet, and he obviously got his 10 points there, which was good for me. So I wasn't too disappointed that Mane scored that second, but it was a breakaway after we'd been pushing to score. So it's just one of those things that happens. Basically, they're a good counter attacking side. I generally thought that Tompkins and Saka looked brilliant in central defence. Hennessy had a pretty good game. There wasn't much he could do about the 2 goals. He made some good saves otherwise. I thought Milicevic was a little bit anonymous in midfield. MacArthur was doing alright though. Zaha was, well, they were doubling up on him, and that's going to happen a lot this season. You know, people have got to, you know, he's got to understand that, and the fans got to understand that. There's going to be times where he's going to struggle in a game because, you know, it's difficult when you've got 2 players on you, but it can open up spaces for other teammates. I thought there were flashes of brilliance from him as usual, and I thought he had a decent game. Christian Benteke, on the other hand, I banked him at the beginning of the season, and he's made me look a fool. He has made me look a fool. He's so like shot of confidence. I feel sorry for him. I really do. He looks just an absolute shell, a husk of a footballer. We have options now. We didn't have options last season. You know, we had Connor Wickham, you know, like injured, no way he could play. We didn't have Jordan Ayew. Sorloth had only just joined and you know, wasn't up to much. You know, takes time to adjust and all that. But we do have options this season. We've got Ayew, Connor Wickham's coming back. We've got Sorloth's, you know, a bit more experience now. It's tough for a team like Palace to cut and run on a player who we paid 30 million for. But what's the other option? We continue to play him and hope that he gets a goal, hope he gets some confidence back. I mean, I don't know what we do. I don't know. It's not my decision. If I was manager, yeah, we got Watford next. I'd probably play him in that game and just say to him that Christian, Benteke, I need you to do something this game, buddy. If it's just a shot on target, I need you to do it. Because yeah, he looked bad. Otherwise, I thought we did well. Max Meyer came on pretty late on, but I could see some really nice touches from him. Looked pretty comfortable in control of the ball. I think he's going to be a really good signing for us. More of a kind of deep lying midfielder to replace Kabay and just, you know, dictate a little bit the match, hopefully. Because that's the one thing I did feel like we lacked was when we played against Liverpool. I thought they looked pretty calm and assured in possession, but when we got possession we looked a bit more panicky. We do play it a bit more direct, obviously, that's our style under Hodgson, but like when we do try and pass it about a bit, it looks a little bit nervy, you know, and I think maybe someone like Meyer with his technique and ability might help us out a lot more there, especially when we're playing teams who aren't as good as Liverpool. Because Liverpool are good, okay, let's make no bones about this. Liverpool are really good. Keita, their new signing midfield, I actually, funnily enough, tweeted that he's the player I'm most scared of in that Liverpool side. He then literally gave the ball away to Townsend, who nearly scored. Actually, it wasn't Townsend, it was Benteke who gave it to Townsend, who nearly scored. But anyway, but he was phenomenal. He is Kante number 2, isn't he? You know, people go, oh, he's a great defensive midfielder. It's unfair to call him a defensive midfielder because he's everywhere. You know, it's like with Kante. It's unfair to call him a defensive midfielder because he's everywhere. You know, he gets in the box a lot now for Chelsea, actually, to be fair. It surprised me. But, yeah, he looks so good and Liverpool look really good. The Gomez-Van Dijk partnership looks decent. I gotta say, Van Dijk is, for me, right now, this minute, the best defender in the world. He is so good. He gets everything. So good. He reads the game so well. He's quick. He's strong. You know, he tackles well. He leads that defence. And the thing I like about Liverpool as well, and I talk about this in a similar way to Man City, is they identified the positions they needed. You know, they got in Alisson, who, by the way, looked decent in the game. You know, they got in Keita, who they've been tracking for a while because they needed shall we say. They got in. Who's the other one? God, I can't remember now. Lost my own point. Anyway, my point is they identify the people they want. You know, Van Dijk, sorry, before that. Yeah, they needed that central defender. They identify it. They don't care almost how much they pay. They're like, we'll pay what we need because these guys will win us the league. These guys will win us trophies and they will be around for many years, you know. They've identified these players, they're bringing them in, and pretty much all of them have done brilliantly, you know, whether it's, you know, big money signings of like Alisson or Salah, or whether it's the smaller ones of Robertson or Gomez or, you know, whatever. Like, Klopp is getting the best out of this team and they look good. And I spoke before about how Man City just look like champions. They look like they have that experience, and they rarely like don't go into a game with that passion to win. And you could see it on the Liverpool like team in that game against Palace. Like, that was a tough match for them. It was absolutely a tough match. One of the that was, you know, one of the like toughest matches they'll have this season. I guarantee you that. And they came through it with flying colours. You know, fair play. They're going to be, you know, it's them and Man City for me. I feel anyway. Chelsea could sneak up there. Tottenham, if they can avoid injuries, they could also be up there. I hope so. I'd love to see more than just a two-horse race. I'd love to see, you know, 4, 5, 6 teams battling it out. It'd be brilliant. But I don't think Arsenal are going to be up there. I don't think Man United are going to be up there. I don't think Watford are going to be up there, despite doing very well. But we'll see. 2 games is way too early to probably make that many predictions. Next up, I feel like this is a long episode. Next up, Wolves v Man City. Again, I can't look past a Man City, you know, win there. Wolves lost to Leicester, and I think their strength is not in shutting other teams down. Their strength is going out and attacking the game, and that could hurt them against Man City, let's face it. But we'll see. Arsenal West Ham, that's a big match for both these teams. Both these teams have got no points. Both these teams have utterly shambolic defences. It should be a really good game for the neutral. I think we're going to see some goals in this game, personally. I think Arsenal will win it, though. I think they showed enough against Chelsea that they can beat West Ham, and that would leave West Ham with 0 points after 3 games. That would be a worry. Bournemouth-Everton, I think, has got the makings of a pretty good game as well. Bournemouth obviously in really good form right now. Eddie Howe is simultaneously the youngest manager in the league and the longest serving manager in the league. Work that one out. Yeah, Bournemouth have been brilliant so far this season. I think they've looked really good. Everton as well. They've been kicking on. You know, they've got their 4 points. They both got 4 points. I think no, Bournemouth got 6. They won both their games. They've been brilliant. Huddersfield Cardiff, so important for both these teams. Really important for Southampton to get something against Leicester as well. You know, they were my tip to go down. They're on 1 point, and that's the type of game which they need to win, I think, if they want to stay up. Leicester are, for me, a mid-table side. You know, 8th to 11th for them. You know, at home, Southampton should be getting something out of that. Liverpool, Brighton. Brighton had a great result against Man United, but Liverpool won't make it easy on them. I can't see anything other than a Liverpool win there. Comfortable one. Palace-Watford should be a great game. Palace, I think, are playing really well. We're going to miss Wan-Bissaka. We've got Joel Ward, but Wan-Bissaka's looking really good at right back. I hope we can get a good result there, because Watford are flying in the minute. So that would be a good result if we did. And I feel like our play against Liverpool deserved more, but I really want us to push on this season. I feel so greedy as a Palace fan because I'm so used to just being like, look, just avoid relegation, do what you got to do. And this season I feel so greedy for being like, please, that dream of Palace, you know, in Europe, whether it's the Europa League or it's not going to be a Champions League, but you know, that dream of Palace for the first time in their history getting into Europe is it's now or never, I feel, because I don't know if Zaha's going to be here next season. I don't know. He signed a new contract, great, but it doesn't mean a lot nowadays, does it? Don't get me wrong. I feel like there's not that many clubs who are going to buy him, but anyway, I could do a whole episode just on Zaha, I think. But anyway, I think this is our best chance now. Hodgson's not getting any younger. I don't know if you saw how angry he was after the Liverpool match. My God, I feel so bad when he gets that angry. It's like your granddad getting really angry about something. You're just like, oh my God, please don't have a heart attack. We can't do without you. We'd get bloody Sam Allardyce back probably. But yeah, Fulham Burnley again. Big match for both. These teams. Fulham no points. Burnley 1 point. Burnley a tough side to break down. How will Fulham go about doing that? Newcastle Chelsea. I think Chelsea will win that personally. I think Newcastle are very good at home, but I think Chelsea have just got that, starting to get that swagger back about themselves now. And then Man United Spurs. I don't think Mourinho wants to play Spurs, but also, who does he want to play right now? Who knows? Some good matches. I'm gonna obviously get rid of Sanchez. I'll probably put Trippier in for Noble, I think. Based on that, I don't know who I'm going to get in for Sanchez. I don't usually do it till late on before the games because you don't know if someone's going to get injured. Obviously, I was really unlucky with Sanchez. Looking at this, I think it might be a Liverpool player. Maybe not Salah because I can't afford him. Sanchez is 10.4. Maybe Firmino. I don't think I can fit another striker in, no, to be fair. I could drop Benteke, couldn't I? That might be a good plan. I'd probably do that for Firmino. He's got to get a goal soon. He hasn't yet. I don't know why Jeffrey Schlupp's classed as a defender here, but we've played him in midfield the entire time. I'd like to get Mendy in as well, He's looked absolutely top quality. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll put Mendy in instead of Sanchez. I don't know. Anyway, as I said, I'll think about it closer to the time. In terms of the league, the Plays Cup, I am in 6th place, not doing brilliantly. Well done to Doofus United and No Hopes 11, who both had exactly the same weeks. Well, both weeks. They got the same team or something. Tompkins, that's brave. Yeah, Captain Aguero. Why didn't I make Aguero my captain? No, they have different teams. But yeah. Wan-Bissaka costing you there. But it's early days, isn't it? Let's face it, it is early days. So yeah, we'll see how that goes about. But thank you so much for watching. It's been fun. It's been long. We will, get cracking next time. We got some great games coming up. I'm so hyped. So hyped. As I said, I just really want Palace to do well this season. I feel like this is our opportunity. This could be it this season. We'll see anyway. Thank you for watching, and it's the hope that kills you. Remember that. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.